Today, Scott Wilson and I would like to introduce you to Michael Waite. He is a Citrus County resident who lives on a private canal that is just off the Withlacoochee River.
Mike, hey, it's a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you. Thanks
Appreciate you taking your time. I can say without any reservation, we've done a lot of stories. This is one of the most troubling ones to my heart that we've experienced and got the opportunity to come take a look at. Can you tell us a little bit about where we're standing and how this all began?
October 25th, 2018, I heard some noises down here, mechanical noise. I know it wasn't natural, so come down here to look, and I saw three guys on an airboat, or not, a pontoon boat right down here, wedged up on this berm, and they were trying to dig and dredge out large swaths of plant material by wrapping ropes around them and yanking them out with the boat. I know that's not right. I knew that they probably needed a dredge and fill permit. So I stopped them from doing what they were doing, and then I started to question them.
Maintaining navigation and a county.
Okay, so you're wrapping chains around aquatic materials and you're ripping up and you're dredging. That's what you're doing. No. Can I see that permit you just showed me?
No.
Show me that permit that you just tried to claim that you had authority to do this.
I'm not going to argue with you.
You're not going to argue with me? Why don't you show me that permit, Art? You just claimed you had a permit. Let me see it.
I have a permit to maintain this. This is
okay, you're not showing me the permit though, Art.
Well, I did show it to you.
This man on the boat is a subcontractor for the FWC. After he refused to show Michael the permit, he stopped for a minute and then he came back with a complete new attitude.
Right, that's why I'm stopping here. I'm still floating here, so I'm still in navigable waterways. I'm not going to pull in and cut that because by your standards that it's dry and manipulating bottom. So where I'm floating here, I clean that, and then where I pull up in there, I agree with you, I'll be hitting bottom. So,
right.
So there we may have a
yes, we have issues
on
right
navigable water.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to make sure we're clear here because I'm going to be finding out.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Yep. So the only other thing I'm doing here, like I said,
we just want to obey the law here, Art. Okay.
Michael began to do some investigation to see why they were there clearing his berm. He uncovered what appears to be a massive fraud. The FWC is paying Citrus Aquatics millions of dollars to spray dozens of private canals, all under a general permit for the Sala Apopka Lake. There is a structure that separates the private canals from the lake, and according to Michael's research, the FWC needs a separate permit to spray these canals. Michael went on to obtain an old survey of his property. This area right here is his land, and as you can see, all the property lines go right through the center of this pond. And right here is the area that Michael calls his berm. This is an aerial photo of his property, and you can see the berm area was a lot bigger, and over the years there has definitely been dredging going on because this is how it looks today. It has clearly been altered from the original design. A narrow canal now replaces the land bridge. A small mud berm is the only thing separating this pond from the canal, and since Michael owns half of this berm, he is fighting to keep it. On March 4th of 2019, Michael received a title determination from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection that stated, therefore, we recommend that the proprietary requirements that would normally apply to state lands not apply to this site. The DEP also confirmed it in an email that the waterways were not state-owned sovereignty lands. This was incredibly important because Florida Statute 68F says, in order for the state and federal aquatic plant management funds to be considered, waters for which these funds are requested must meet the following eligibility criteria. The water body must be sovereignty lands, so they are not allowed to spray on private property. This is why they can't get a permit for these canals. Michael presented all this evidence to Citrus Aquatic along with a no trespassing warning, and then he posted no trespassing signs on the berm. And you won't believe what happened next.
Can we fast forward to December 23rd, 2019 and tell me what you experienced and documented then?
that day, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, and I heard some more kind of mechanical noises down here. I ran down here and I couldn't believe what I saw. I seen 2 sheriff's personnel on the airboat with the aquatics people with their machine guns all strapped to their neck here, pointing right down at my feet here as the aquatics guy, he's pulling out my no trespassing sign. And with the 2 deputies pointing guns at me as I'm standing on my property, they're on my property, and the guy's ripping out my no trespassing sign. And then they proceeded to go farther in and spray. And so let me take you down here, Scott. After they came over the berm in December, a few guys with machine guns on the front of the boat, and I don't know why. I'm standing here and I'm watching them mixing the chemicals on the boat, you know, and I'm like, it's what they came back for. They just wanted to dump more chemicals. You know, I'm not a plant person, but this is a swamp. I mean, this is not on Golden Pond. I mean, there's no boats that even come in here and boat. I mean, so for them to try to claim that they're, you know, trying to create navigation or a boatable boatway is beyond even know what I'm doing. All I'm considering what they're doing is they're coming here and using this area as a profit area, a profit zone, dumping chemicals and getting paid. But what they did is they came in and just doused this lake with chemicals. I didn't see them taking any water sample tests or anything like that. They just came in and just started spraying everything. Close to my objection, I verbally told them, I do not consent to spraying chemicals on my land, my property. You need to leave. And they wouldn't stop, and they just kept on going. And I was assaulted. My property was assaulted. And nature's assaulted. Everything's assaulted. And it's horrible.
It's obvious that this body of water is not navigable. It's not, you know, because of the depth and the way that it's set up, I don't see how this could be used recreationally or any other way. Yet, what concerns me the most is the chemicals that they sprayed. The spray plan that you provided for us showed that they used 2,4-D, that they used glyphosate, that they used flumoxazine. That's a powerful chemical cocktail.
Yeah.
Wow.
During the next several weeks, Michael filmed the pond as the plants died and sunk to the bottom, destroying any life that might have been there. By the end of January, all the plants were now gone on the pond, and it was now completely void of all fish life. He also noticed he wasn't seeing the deer, turkeys, squirrels, and otters that usually hang around his berm. If you thought this story couldn't get any more bizarre, on February 13th, Michael heard more noises coming from the berm area of his property. So he ran down there just in time to see the same spray boat with 2 armed deputies crossing the berm into his pond again. This time they had company. There was a second Citrus County Sheriff's Department airboat with 2 more armed deputies. As the airboat moved into the pond, he noticed another deputy hiding behind a tree on the other side of the pond. That's a total of 5 deputies that were assigned to this assault on Michael's property. When they started to spray the water, you can clearly see that there wasn't any plants alive on the surface. Everything was still dead from the December spraying. Even the shorelines didn't have any vegetation on them. The only thing they were spraying was open water. Duckweed, the plant that they killed in December, is a native plant and it is not invasive. Instead, it is a very important aquatic plant because it puts oxygen back in the water. That's why Mother Nature puts it in ponds and swamps that don't have any moving water and needs extra oxygen. It also shades out algae and creates habitat for many insect larvae and crustaceans. Humans need to just let Mother Nature take care of our waters and quit interfering. The 2 deputies did not take their eyes off of Michael the whole time he videotaped this incident. What was more troubling, as their fingers were both near their triggers and appeared to be ready to fire at any time. This was incredibly dangerous for the FWC to put the lives of these 4 individuals in harm's way just to intimidate a landowner. They all need to thank Michael for not taking the bait on this harassment. This could have escalated and someone could have been seriously hurt, all because an acre of duckweed? You gotta be kidding me. This assault took less than 5 minutes. So to get out of the pond, they had to take one more trip over the berm.
Tell us about what happened when they tried to get out of here.
Well, when they tried to escape after their little caper here.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'll have to cry, sir.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I watched them go back out, but then they proceeded to head back down this way. And I followed them all the way back down to the berm. By that time, I had a couple neighbors and friends meet down there. I told them to film everything you can. They got down there, and I'm watching them in there, and they get up to the berm, and they can't go over it. And I'm saying they're stuck, and they can't, you know, and then the guy has to power the boat over, and he powers, you can see him flying over the land there, and just destroyed. It's like this high of muck as they plowed over the berm, destroying the integrity of the berm even more. And that berm is the only thing that's protecting to hold the water in. The rest of this is real landlocked, you know what I mean? But that berm down there, which is really a land bridge, the original design, this was not even meant to be passable to come in here, but they've destroyed it over the years. I bought this property in 2015, so I don't know what they did prior to that, but they've probably taken out this much more of the berm on all these assaults that they have done to try to come in here, and they're ignoring my no trespassing
to gain access to a 1 acre private pond
to dump chemicals.
that's dead.
So this is what Florida has become? If you disagree with dangerous chemical herbicides, 5 armed deputies will show up at your doorstep and douse your property at gunpoint? Governor Ron DeSantis, we are literally running out of time. We are all praying that you wake up and replace the FWC before they kill this entire state.